in the health services, doctors, nurses, the technicians, the auxiliary nurses, security personnel, ambulance driver, everybody who continue to function over the weekend, the technicians at the utility companies, those that are on call, people at board of management, the fisher folks and the farmers, the stevedores, those in the transportation industry, the bus operator, the water taxi operators, the municipal pilots, taximen and taxi women, all the people who work, and we don't know all of y'all, but if you work over the weekend and we haven't mentioned you, of course, you can always hit us up so we can mention your profession and the work that you do by name and respectfully. A lot of big people take holiday over the weekend and they are all exotic places while you have to hold the fort so that the goods and the services that the population really needs and deserve and rely on is accessible and available. You make that happen. You are an important part of the whole equation of life and liberty in this country. We also need to acknowledge our brothers and sisters as well at the Met Service. And as we speak about the Met Service, we have the Met Online. We have Mr. Ronald Gordon. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Welcome. What's the weather like for today and the next couple of days?
Okay, well, this morning we're starting off with a few showers and light rain, isolated thunderstorms, mainly over some coastal areas and over the sea. We expect that to move to the mainland this afternoon, and then tonight again mostly in the south. The pattern will continue pretty much the same on Tuesday and Tuesday night, as we have a light north to northeasterly flow and relatively moist over the area.
Well, Mr. Gordon, thank you very much, sir. Keep up the great work.
You're welcome, and thank you too.
Okay, Mr. Ronald Gordon, Moisture Linga leave it wrong more today and tomorrow into the night. Reprieve come Wednesday and Thursday a little bit more moisture. And instability can be connected to a system out there in the Caribbean, the South Caribbean, which the Met Service will be monitoring. They don't think that it's going to develop into anything of significance, but within the next 5 days, we got to be keen and monitor it. Thank you all again, our folks there at the Met Service. We're due for a first break at the morning. Let's take that and come back. We have a lot of things to talk about. We are back 22 minutes now after 7 o'clock on this Monday morning, the 17th of October, which means that we are now on the second half of the month of October, just like that. But more important and significant than that is that we have a call on the line. But today is day 10 of the teacher's strike. Good morning.
Hi, Marsha. Good morning.
Good morning.
My concern now about the mother of Aaron Gabriel, who was burned to death.
Uh-huh.
That whole lady nightmare was not over because Thursday was the day for the funeral,
The
right?
funeral. Uh-huh.
So the poor mother went with a letter from Stella Maris so they could have waived the whole fee. But instead, Carl Wishner turned the lady back and tell her need to pay the $600. Now the poor lady may not be stressed, so you don't know what to do. So you run back to the Stella Maris school, right? And try to get some assistance that they could help her to pay the more fee. So some minutes after, the lady came back with the vice principal, Mrs. Dana Stein. So she went to the counter and had a conversation with the people in from Carl Wishner. And they refused to assist the lady by waiving the more fee. So then I see the vice principal run back out, I guess went for the money to pay the more fee so the child could have buried Thursday. That is so sad. You know, in that type of incident, I think the government should have take care of that. You know, especially the condition how the poor man is in, he losing his son. You know,
That would be very inconsiderate of them.
I know it was a sad moment because people was out there waiting to get appointment to my heart go out to that poor lady, the mother of Aaron Gabriel. Okay, then,
I know her very well, I know her very well.
It's a sad day in the leaves, Marshall.
It is.
Right. Okay, then. Thanks very much.
Thank you so very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thanks. That is depressing to hear. Totally depressing. The Miss Carolyn Hamilton and the Hamilton family there on Oliveira Street last year, a little less than a year ago, there was the arson and the place was destroyed. They had to rebuild from the bottom up. And then most recently again, even the police have classified this situation as an arson. It's in fact arson and murder because the young man was torched in that fire. Two other siblings or relatives received 90 or over 90 degrees burnt, and they had to be flown out to the Shriners Children's Hospital in Galveston, Texas. Thank God that the people at Burt and Mr. Witt Burks and those people fought to keep the ambulance service and that NGO active. Remember that a couple months ago, it went to the final day that the government would refusing to release the body of this young man, of this child, to be buried. Man, how can you be so insensitive? I don't know. I don't even want to speculate on other things, but I want to, if what the lady had said to us is true, then we want to thank the people at here.
Marshall, brinkmanship is at its best right now. The meeting that was to be held Wednesday will be held this morning at 10:30. The man changed again.
Change again?
Yes, he changed. I heard Mr. Luke Palazzo this morning, and he said that the Prime Minister called them. Yes, sometime yesterday evening or early this morning, to please let us meet at 10:30 at the Billboard. Now, this is what we call brinkmanship. You allow something to go to an extreme, then you draw back. Now, this is something that is detrimental in any country when a leader is not certain of what he wants to offer as a solution.
Well done, Hector.
Carry on that.
My position on that, and I haven't heard. But if the Prime Minister had finally had his heart touched and decide that he want to meet today rather than Wednesday, I think it's one of the best things that can happen. My position was I felt that he didn't want this thing to subside. He want this thing to continue go on. So if he make the decision, if he have reconsidered his position,
This is the least. Now, when you take the wherever, establish an office tomorrow morning and begin to probe whereby these 55 passports went to or how they were released. This doesn't mean science, right? We don't know. When to leave all that, it's the matter of investigating Pastor Lou's beheading. That's a serious matter. That should have been done from 3 months ago. Should have started immediately. Oh, he said, but we have somebody locked up. Yes, we know that they have done a mission hold up. But the matter is, why did this happen? Who are involved? This could be done tomorrow morning. Let's take the other matter of the Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission is most necessary, especially having heard these 2 big land deals that occurred. Well, that were blown out, they had already occurred. That people get $400,000 payment for a thing that they only pay $10,000. That should be done immediately.
school back tomorrow.
But it will take 3 months. That's what we said, word for word. It will take 3 months to with the head and the arrest. I read this deal before yesterday. For his name being involved in money at the Panama Papers and many others. But these become more passports that are out there with the
not involved.
Is that paper, the motion that was presented today, actually came from the office of the Prime Minister, and that is what has been presented today by the churches.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean.
So who helped you? What legal advisors helped the church put together the motion that was presented today?
I'm not privy to that information.
Sir, but this is
Early.
Mr. Barrow had money to pay $557 million for a washed-up phone company worth only $100 money to buy a.
Every day.
Contact Crime Stoppers Belize today at crimestoppersbelize.org.
We all have to work together to create
a safer Belize.
Mr. Barrow met with Lord Ashcroft in Miami. They signed a secret accommodation agreement. Barrow agreed to pay Ashcroft $97 million, so it could look like BTL is making a profit, just so his son could look good. Barrow refuses to pay teachers and public officers $13 million, but he can write off $25.8 million for his son. $25.8 million in taxpayer dollars gone. Mr. Barrow, you have no authority.
Americans tell me how you living it now. People tell me how you living.
For the space individuals in, you have the internet, you have a lady right out by Pink Boutique and Orange Street. She's suffering.
That's
What
the direction I came. And you have commuter.
resisting people, high people in government, of meddling and embezzlement and it's unfair.
Again, but they need to help the kids as well. And I totally am with you guys 100%. I listen to you guys every day. And I agree. And I switch different channel and I listen and I said, August. So anyway.
You send
When they're not even so, the fact that this is a state secret, that they're not taking advantage. The minister come out and said I'm a PUP, remember? He said it was politics. And all of a sudden now, shh, nobody wants to bring out who the man
You got information, man?
I got the man live on Boulevard. I know them.
You want to do it before the break or
no,
after the break?
I don't give no more than this. Let the police and the media follow up. The man name that everybody knows something stinky.
I could take this call and we'll take it.
Good morning.
Gentlemen, I heard Finnegan yesterday attacking the members of the Chamber of Commerce.
It's happened. So
There is no
for 6 months. The economy has had also a negative performance of 1.5%, whereas we are seeing here basically it's decreasing substantially.
The teachers of Belize are fighting for good and transparency. They want this government to do the right thing. Stand strong.
The big mouth Balahu, whatever her name is, Juliet, whatever that one's. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, Vaughn. Good morning, Marshall.
Good morning.
Mr. Montero.
Yes, good morning.
Belize. I would just want to make a special appeal on our Belizeans to support the teachers in whatever way you can. We have to send a message to the government. As a people, if we have to close down the business, we have to do it. We must do it.
Many times, the Boots Martinez, the Patrick Faber, who came up and claim that they came up, you walk around anywhere, and this weekend, I went into a few neighborhoods, and the amount of children I saw barefooted. All right? What will Barrow acceding to those 8 demands do to address poverty? To address the kids that are out of school? To address the cost of goods and services? To address the cost of school fees? To address the violence in the streets? To address the breakdown in our society's norms and morals? What will that accomplish?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Van Marshall.
Good morning.
When we listen to the Prime Minister the last time when he got by the media, he only speaks about 2 things, you know. He not just when the media question the Prime Minister, I don't really think that about he can't move God in the voice. And
I'm going to go down the rope.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the caller is right in line with what we're saying, Brother Fan. Barrow has intentionally, on a constant basis, how can you justify it? If you are in charge of finance, Brother Van, any money that is paid out from there, you will know. You will know, especially those large sums of money. So that's one of the things I think the media has to ask Barrow this afternoon when he has that so-called press conference. Because he always behaves as if though he does not know.
Well, Colin, I believe one of the reasons why the Prime Minister has upped the timeline on this meeting with the joint unions is because of these types of information coming out, because it changes the conversation around that table today. This $800,000 that dropped on the table last week will change the conversation with the Public Service Union and the teachers in that room today.
Yeah.
And so he wants, before he bleeds a little bit more, he wants to hurry wrap this up before people really get their teeth into this.
Yeah, but there's more. There's a lot more.
And honestly, what senior people in Ministry of Finance, 20% more.
Because, well, you know what embarrassment that creates for Minister Finnegan? That Finnegan went out on Friday and gone about the place to say, oh, that then they give the teacher everything when they want. Oh, it's either embarrassment. Well, if you're not embarrassing
no
for
embarrassment
him,
for Finnegan.
It's a single-handedly him and his minions drive our economy into a free fall.
Good morning.
Gentlemen.
We are back. We're now in the final segment of the show for this morning, and we want to express happy birthday to Miss Camille Bertrand, who is celebrating a birthday today, from your entire family. Wishing you a happy birthday today and many, many more happy birthdays.
Morning.
Today, Mike, we don't birthday to you, no?
What?
Happy birthday, Mike.
Happy
Respect.
birthday.
Yes, good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Now that the number of documents which is evidence that impropriety has taken place, is it possible, or how, what would be the process to have the DPP send this case to the police for investigation and prosecution?
The police
what would be the process?
There would have to be a way.
Is a citizen like myself, house, can go through that process, having the DPP look at the evidence that has surfaced, and for her to direct the police to commence criminal investigation. I thank you again.
I don't know that private citizen can. Maybe you can, but private citizens have been known to have their challenge in court overturned and then become culpable and have to pay legal fees and so. But
the party has already indicated, Marsh.
Yeah, that there is a case of
misfeasance
misfeasance in public life.
And that's going to be addressed for sure.
Definitely.
Right? That's definitely going to be addressed. So, my brother, you can rest assured that we will not go to sleep at the wheels with any of these cases. And that's one of the reasons why we, as a party, we are in full solidarity with the teachers in their 8-point agenda, one of which is also key on the Chamber's demand that the whole situation with the UNCAC be signed, all right, so that these guys can be investigated for their corruption in public life. There is no way, shape, or form even the Prime Minister can get away with all this, man. I don't know what spin he will try to bring to this whole land explanation this afternoon as it pertains to his former Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Natural Resources, but there's no spin you can give to it.
You can tell him, man, I don't move the man.
Yeah, but he paid out the money.
Don't make it worse than it is, man. It's what has happened is bad enough.
All right, there's no spin you can give. All right, and after 90 days, there's some kind of provision put in place so that the lending institution can begin to negotiate with the individuals to look at a refinancing program. All right? What the country is actually saying, and I speak for Jamaica, is we want to keep as much of our businesses open, as much of our people in their homes. It's not about people losing their land and their homes, man. All right? What we have seen happening now is that many Belizeans use their land as collateral to secure loans to build their homes. And then any misfortune hits you, Brother Van, your breathing room now only 3 months, amigo. All right, 3 months. And then all of a sudden, the shame, because your name is published all over the newspapers, your house, everything. And this is what people have worked for all their lives, work hard. And when they sell a house, everything you put in, you lose. All right? Now, as you talk to people, people are saying, man, we need for your government, we need for the next People's United Party government to look at this. And the PUP has always... wanting to see somebody. She said they took away her land in Belama Phase 4. You know, and she had paid the survey car, she had paid the initial deposit that needed to be.
Oh, your human resources is just like your capital resources. The only way you go on a spending spree and create such a debt is that you know that your future generation will be empowered and will be rich to pay off that debt.
Yeah.
That is not the case in Belize at this present moment.
Yeah.
And this is the reality. We are not just talking about alleviating poverty, but building human capital, which is necessary to growing the economy. One essential element.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I agree with you.
Thank you, sir.
Because millions and millions and millions.
That was the new UDP hustle at the time. But the amount probably disclosed, because I don't really have the facts about it, I've been kind of stale, is that it's nothing new. It has been happening from the time this UDP administration got in. They created this hustle for themselves. Thank you.
You are so right, Carl. I remember a couple of years ago, Brother Van, we had held a press conference with the amount of land that these guys were literally taking away from people and reselling it.
Well, they had some cases before the election where agents, Gaspar Vega, who was the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Lands at the time, where they were issued lands just like this.
Prosecuted. I don't know if I'm making my point.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is this is a test case that needs to be taken up now.
Mr. Vega, if you look at the pattern with Mr. Swayze and McMarich, he felt that he was entitled to
case to court on. You have to define what gongs and take it by.
something. What I mean, for swindle $400,000 out of the
but you can't just
we will seek legal counsel. I will, as soon as we get off the show, I'll make a couple calls and then I'll get back to him.
At the Prime Minister's press briefing today, people are asking him to answer questions about Gaspar Vega and Sharon Pitts
and, yeah.
I would also want the Prime Minister to answer one big question for me. Keegan, can you show the document from the paperwork from the Belmopan bandits where 30% of the bandits is owned
crisis after crisis, corruption after corruption after corruption.
I would really, just like the tourist van for $2, Marshall, Belize, instead of cutting the Bosito service, I believe the quality of service that disturbance, I am really sorry for them. In Kaya South alone, we got 13 villages, and everybody depends on this bus service. And I said, it's with dignity your travel, your the brand new van to put on this road. Yeah. And you know why the bank gave them the loan? You saw the video on Friday night. Yeah. These guys had their road service permit with every half hour spelled out.
Yeah.
So the bank had no worries to give them a loan because they have a run that brings in at least what, $200-300 a day at $2 each.
Yeah, yeah.
And what cash?
My reason for the question is
why the
minister involve himself with this and other commissioner?
Because they see the profitability of it.
Same reason why the minister involved himself when they make all the Indians take over the shop from the local.
All they do is promote poverty.
I wish the media would take
they have done
a half day and go and ride, come out of some of these villages in this bus and see the service they're providing. No, just listen to what the drivers are saying. Go and meet the commuters, ride the service, and then show Belize City people how they are being small change
but the
worthless transport.
The issue are not Belize City people, and the Ministry of Transport.
Yeah. No, but they're not holding them. They're trying to stop. You know why it's important? They're trying to stop a service that is exceptional. Instead of using it as a model for the other parts of the country, they're coming in and putting an end to it so that a few UDP businessmen could eat. Nothing for Sorio Chuk. Nothing for him want to take over the Bositos, you know.
I hope not.
Nothing for that the plan. Why they bother to come with this foolishness? Pan people. But that's how sick head you. How you turn such a one UDP where you don't even care about poor people again because you got your fancy vehicle. Well, no, boy. So you don't care if the 25,000 people from rural Kaya, so don't have one spot for coming to Belmopan. Boss, when that same people that make on the money that Belmopan?
Make I ask this, but how many of the buses? It's a necessary service, but my reason for the questions is to figure out how we could galvanize the kind of support to bring them together to make sure that they can have the impact
I believe that will happen.
Who they had to walk out, and one point he had to provide transportation for them to
2
come
entire
out
school
and
years,
stuff.
Julius Espat provided transportation for the students out of More Tomorrow to Belmopan.
So we understand
and Comprehend Baptist
we
because
understand.
of the same bus problem.
We understand the importance of it. We just want to work.
And now the transport department, for no good reason except that, oh, my man don't make money again.
I hear Castro say, I don't care if you no go to the bank and get no loan, out of my business.
And they gonna loan with a power with thing from
Marsh, whatever transpires this morning into us is bordering and may I say is criminal. Am I allowed to say that?
We just did. And Van never stopped us, so all
right, well, then I'm allowed to say.
You're being very mild.
All right. And therefore, I have to appeal to many of even the UDP supporters who do listen to us.
Or all.
Who do listen to us. Guys, come on. Even Blind Eye and Josie could say that these guys have taken us for a ride. All right. They have done very little. All right. Very little. Yeah. Apart from bills or roundabouts, etc., etc., etc. You look around. Are you better off 8 years later? 8 years later? I tell you, go to a shop today with $100, you don't care who not.
People go to a shop with $100 nowadays.
Right. Morrison.
Hog head.
School books, everything gone up. I tell you.
And the Prime Minister should consider this question whether or not teachers are to continue with their strike.
Oh, yes.
To PPL. This as it relates to some concern for our children, the pure propaganda.
If you don't have a B addresses are available.